Alright guys, today we're going to be working on the interior of the S10. We're actually going to change out the lights in there to LEDs, and the way we're just going to do that is to use one of these cheap eBay packs you can buy. I think I spent like $5 or something like that. It wasn't much. But you get a whole roll. I've already used a good portion of it for other projects, but we're going to wire these up to the current electrical system, so we don't have to tie in no fuses or any of that stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like at night. So we do have one LED that I actually pulled off a camper. It wasn't the exact same size, but you know what? It fit, and it was better at the moment, at the time, you know, so it looks good. That back there is fine. I won't mess with that. But down here, I have those yellow bulbs, the little incandescent ones, and this one's out anyways. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna snip these wires, we're gonna make the connection. It should be a pretty quick and simple job. Now here we got our tools laid out. We got a soldering iron because we will need to solder some wire to the LED strips and little gold pieces right there. We got some spare wire, pretty close matching the gauge. We have some butt connectors. Now real quick to show you, you can use this style connector. You know, they just snap in, and that's kind of what we want. We want it to be able to unplug, so in case we need to remove that panel, we don't have to cut no wires. But I don't have that many of these right now, so I'm using this style, which is the same thing. You can use whatever you have. If you don't want it to be removable, then hey, that's on you. Cool deal. We got some ways to take the protective plastic off the wire. We got stuff to crimp the wire, of course the LEDs. That's really all you need for this. So right now I'm gonna measure. There's no real exact measurements, and figure out the length, cut it on both sides, and then we'll start soldering. So this is a passenger side panel that usually like the light sits right here, but I took this off because it was a lot easier than the driver side, and I just kind of want to show you how this would go on. So light it's gonna stick on something like this, and we're gonna solder in our wires on this end, and the normal light usually sits right here. So we're gonna probably just for looks, we might end up just drilling a hole to run the wires through or something, and then have the connections right here. That way if we ever need to take off this panel, you know, just go pop pop and they're gone. But right now I'm gonna solder some wire to it. You know what, I lied. You will need more stuff. I'm actually gonna end up putting heat shrink on here. I'm just nervous sometimes. I feel like cables are way too close in this instance. So I got a small piece of heat shrink here. I'm gonna cut this in half and cover these two terminals just to make sure if they ever pop off, they're not over there sparking. I don't think this step is actually necessary, but you know what? It's my truck, so I don't care. Underbuilt, overbuilt, my thing. Slide it on. Slide this guy on too. I always feel like I'm gonna break these damn things too, man. It's crazy. They're so fragile. Alright, and then we can heat shrink those. You can heat shrink it any number of ways. Honestly, you could even use a soldering iron if you wanted to. You can use a lighter, and honestly a lighter probably would be a better idea for this, but I have one of these torches, and I'm just going to tap it with the heat real fast. If anyone wondering too, this red surface right here, it's metal, and I know on top of this bed cover it'll be fine. Just see, that's all we need. Barely anything. And just to make things even prettier, we'll use another piece of heat shrink, bigger than the rest. You see that? Just a little bigger. And we'll loop these through. There we go. Just like like that, and this will hold them together. Voila. Now this should be a pretty solid connection. You know, it looks good anyways. Alright, and now we're going to trim off these ends, even though I already cut the loom off of them, and we'll re-trim them, which takes about 2 seconds. 1, 2. And then we're going to attach our crimped connections. So just because I don't know which ones are positive and negative in the truck, even though I'm sure I could figure it out, I'm going to side on, you know, the side of not knowing. And we're going to leave the male ends, we're going to put both male ends on here, which is probably a good idea anyways, because if we put like what I usually like to do is do like a male and female. That way you can't reverse the wiring and stuff. But like honestly, I'll be working on a truck, so it can't be that hard to figure out. And these, you know, these fit in real easy. But if we had, for example, this was where the power is coming from, and we had the lights on, and we ended up unplugging them, and we had the 2 male ends on the live end, they were touched, they will spark. So we're gonna put the female ends on the live end and the male ends on this dead end, if that makes sense. Crimping wires, if you haven't ever done it, it's pretty damn simple. Now these connections are probably a lot bigger for bigger gauge wire, but working with what I got, and it doesn't hurt anything. You just gotta fold your wire over a little bit sometimes. Grip. Grip. That's it. So now we're gonna go put the female ends on the passenger side, just so we have them there, and we'll clip, and then we'll stick this back on here. And there we go, guys. Yeah, it's not too bad considering it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can actually see light, and that's what it looks like from the underside. Not too bad. And when you step in, you don't really see anything sticking down. Barely see that. But actually, you know what? I'm kneeling down from a standing up height. That's what you see. So I'll go ahead and do the other side. Same principle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we're done. Pretty simple. Really good light. You can see it's just under here. This one I ended up running all the way from here. That little bolt hole, you know, just hot glued it there, and I got the same one over there. So I'll show you what this looks like at night. All right, guys, it's nighttime. I want to show you all the dome overlight, the dome lights. Sorry, I've been driving around all day. Man, much brighter. There's that back one back there. Really nice, really sleek looking. So do it yourself, man. Why not?